We met the main group who had invited me to spend time with them. The area is very poor, untouched by foreign aid. And that's at the heart of it. They've not seen reconstruction, and 5 years on they're seeing only destruction again. That makes the job of the Taliban rather easy in recruiting people in the villages up here. This is their chosen battleground. The vast deserts in the north of Helmand have involved British forces in some of their most intensive fighting since the Second World War. The Taliban group I met, perhaps 40 strong, stopped soon after my arrival at a small mosque to pray. Holy warriors on a jihad. Their commander, the man now heading the Taliban campaign in this region against the British, was unwilling to appear on camera. He has to move to another sympathiser's house every night and wants to keep out of the public eye. But others do not mind the camera. The movement has softened its stance against television, although few of these men can ever have watched it. They are simple, with no memory of Afghanistan without war, and no education other than years spent in the madrasas, the religious schools across the border in Pakistan. The madrasas, Taliban factories, are still turning them out, and now they have a focus for their fight.
We see the English as our enemies since the time of the Prophet Muhammad. They are our enemies now, and they were then. We will fight them to our death. We will not let them into our country. They cannot deceive us by their propaganda that they are here for reconstruction or rebuilding this country. We haven't seen any reconstruction. They've riddled our country with bullets and killed our children. They've destroyed much more than they've rebuilt.
I was taken on a hair-raising patrol, driving for some hours at high speed. They can move at will across a wide area, showing much more confidence than suggested in the recent assessment by a senior British officer that the Taliban in this region were tactically defeated. It was impossible to judge the real level of their support in villages here, but the increasing toll of civilian casualties caused by the war can only help them. When this village was bombed during a recent British raid, there's a dispute over what happened next. Locals say 6 people from one family were killed, including 3 young girls. Sheikh Ahmed and Nur Ahmed were orphaned and both have injuries. They're now being looked after by their grandfather.
The boys were outside, sitting under the trees when the bombs dropped. I was here, and the grandchildren were sitting over there. The Taliban were not here. None was here.
Another bomb hit the village mosque, leaving a large crater in the ground. After the bombs fell, 4 helicopters landed and soldiers started shooting.
2 helicopters landed over here, and 2 landed near the mosque. I came out of my home with 2 children, one on my shoulders and one in my arms. When the helicopters landed, they started shooting at me. God saved me and I escaped. Despite the claims of people here, NATO sources describe this village as being heavily defended by the Taliban, who fired on their forces throughout the operation. They say they arrested a suspect they'd come to get. Given the extreme feelings the war has aroused, there was potential danger throughout my stay. A group of Taliban who heard I was there came to kill me, and I was saved only by the honour code of the Pashtuns, Afghanistan's biggest tribe. The main commander insisted I was his guest, telling them they would have to kill him first if they wanted to get to me. They are constantly on the lookout for British spies. This radio conversation was about whether they should move against a suspected collaborator. In this harsh environment, British soldiers are fighting an uphill battle to provide security for aid. The Taliban showed me the remains of a Spartan armoured personnel carrier, destroyed at the beginning August with the loss of 3 British lives. It was hit near Musakala, the northernmost of 4 British outposts set up to try to spread security. In a radical shift of policy, Musakala has now been abandoned and British soldiers withdrawn under the cover of a ceasefire deal brokered by local tribal elders. And the Taliban are now threatening to extend a new tactic for Afghans: suicide bombing. This was the aftermath of a recent attack in Kandahar, targeted at Canadian soldiers.
So far, you see just individual suicide attacks. But in the future, you might see as many as 6 people committing the attack simultaneously. Countless people have enlisted to become suicide bombers. This upsurge is the result of the pressure we are under.
There is another special factor in the war in Helmand. It is one of the world's biggest producers of drugs. There are no opium poppies at this time of year, but fields of waving marijuana in sight of the main road are a reminder of where the money comes from down here. The Taliban say they're against poppy growing. They see drug taking as against their religion and banned poppy growing in the last 2 years they were in power. Since America toppled their government, more poppies are grown here than ever before.
When we banned the poppy growing, the world destroyed us. The world does not want poppy growing to stop. They seem to want it to go on without restriction. If they wanted it to stop, well, we were the ones who stopped it. But they don't care about stopping it.
As in any war, it is the civilians who suffer most. Many have fled to safety in Kandahar city, where they're now dependent on food aid. Government forces told some of these people to move out.
They said, "We are fighting the Taliban here and we don't want you to be harmed." We left everything behind. Those who had vehicles came with them, but others had to walk. There were hundreds, no thousands of people. Some women had to walk in bare feet without their heads covered. My own daughter-in-law had to come out without her head covered. I just pushed her in the car. This is what we faced. There were planes bombing the area.
Smile and his sister Camilla are growing up in the corner of a building site in Kandahar where their family have found space, but there's no shelter here for the coming winter. Their father says the Taliban are the only people who will gain from this.
It's very obvious. Right now we see foreigners with tanks driving through our vineyards. They destroy people's orchards. They break through the walls and just drive across. When they take up positions in a village like this, nobody can cooperate with them.
Back in the hills, a local commander trying out a pair of looted American sunglasses has seen the change in favour of the Taliban.
I'm in charge of the Taliban in this area, and we can go around our area day and night without even carrying a pistol. Now you can see that I'm not even carrying a knife. People are happy with our presence. No government official can dare to go around freely in this area as we can.
The Taliban have high morale, and now some captured American machine guns, with a wheelbarrow pressed into service to carry one of them. They fired at American helmets to test them, and proudly display a spy plane which they say was shot down with a Kalashnikov. They still need to work out, though, how to wear a turban with night vision goggles. After time spent with these soldiers in the field, I wanted to find out what's at the heart of the movement. I was now close to the end of my journey, and a meeting with one of the key thinkers in the newly revitalized Taliban. 12 years ago, when the Taliban began, they were very opposed to television, breaking cameras and indeed breaking televisions themselves. Now they say they've changed. They even have an official spokesman, and this is his first television interview. Why fight against democracy? Why not fight at the ballot box?
America used force and attacked us. They invaded our country and occupied it. They killed our women and children. That's why the Mujahideen want to throw them out of the country. Democracy set up under the shadow of B-52 bombers and elections under the shadow of F-16s is not acceptable for the Afghan nation.
What people outside don't understand is that the Americans and British have come to provide reconstruction, which is hard to do if their bulldozers are destroyed and schools are burnt down.
That's completely wrong. It's just an excuse by the British and American governments when they say that they've come here to rebuild Afghanistan. The Mujahideen of the Islamic Emirate don't burn schools, they're against burning schools. To destroy a school building or a hospital causes damage to the people. The Mujahideen do not do anything that can cause damage to people.
So who is burning down the schools?
Generally, these schools are being burnt by the soldiers of Karzai's puppet government to discredit the Mujahideen. I say again, the Mujahideen